The following contains opinions. If you do not agree with those opinions, that is completely fine. If you think you are a better person than us, or you think your opinion is a fact, then you may just kindly walk away right now. You also have my full permission to go f*** yourself.
And I think we are live now.
Well,
Okay.
live-ish.
Yeah. Well, we're on record. Anyway,
Yeah.
So, Ryan, if you want to explain what we're going to be doing?
Okay, so, today, since we've both seen Godzilla 2014, let me throw this out there first. If you haven't seen the new Godzilla movie, I would probably suggest not watching this yet, because we're probably going to be throwing out lots and lots of spoilers.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen the movie yet, and you're worried about spoilers, you should probably wait until you see the movie, and then come back here, because, yeah. But basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna be comparing Godzilla 1998 and Godzilla 2014, the two American Godzilla movies, just pointing out some of the differences and, I don't know, just talk about them.
Yeah. And, yeah, we're like gonna do which, movies did things right and, what they did wrong, because, I mean, I'm pretty sure that now that this has been said, most people are gonna be going, "Oh no, the 1998 movie sucked. The 2014 is much better." Yeah, well, hang on, we're just gonna have an intelligent debate about that, actually, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, Godzilla 1998 was not completely terrible. It had some.
Yeah, there are much worse movies out there.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are. Batman and Robin. Oh,
yeah. Dragon Ball Evolution. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Allergy season, guys.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem. Okay, so, first of all, let's talk about the main monster. In the 2014 movie, he is a lot more like his original design.
Yeah, it definitely is a lot more like the source material.
Yeah, the 1998 film, they made him very, very different. They made him more like a giant T-Rex with a Godzilla spikes, pretty much.
Yeah, and one thing I was drawing him last night for no particular reason. I noticed the spikes, unlike the original Godzilla, they're like thorns.
Yeah.
But I think the reason they went with that design, I told you this, but I haven't told your audience this, so I might as well throw it out there. I think the reason they went with that design is because of the popularity of Jurassic Park and The Lost World, since The Lost World had come out the year before. I think they were trying to, hone in on the popularity of The Lost World at the time, because those movies made a lot of money. So they're probably trying to hone in on that popularity and try to get the audiences interested in Godzilla, using that design.
Yeah, because dinosaurs at that point, thanks to Jurassic Park and Steven Spielberg, they made dinosaurs very, very popular because of the whole success of it, pretty much.
Praise be to Spielberg.
Yeah. Yeah, now, really, the intentions of the movie was good. They were just trying to make Godzilla a bit more popular, I think, as far as I'm aware.
I mean, they tried to introduce it to American audiences. I mean, I feel like Americans were aware of the Godzilla movies, but most of them were the ones with English dubs, and they were all kind of cheesy. And I think what they were trying to do in 1998, my AC is about to kick on, so if you hear background noise, that's my air conditioning. So I think what they were trying to do is trying to make it more realistic. That was just me turning my volume. More realistic, per se.
Yeah.
But it didn't quite go as planned.
Yeah, although I did hear that the director was a bit arrogant about it, saying that his is much better than the original, but I don't know, I haven't seen the interview where it says that, but hey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, alright, what?
Oh, here, I want to point this out. One thing I did like more regarding Godzilla in the 1998 one that I did this one is he showed up a lot more.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. In this movie, they focused more on the enemy monsters. They focus more on like the
Mutos. Yeah, it felt like a Muto movie for the first two times.
yeah. And like the first two times Godzilla stayed on, he was like the first time he was only on for like what 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah, he roared and then he was gone.
Yeah, and you just see like a news report of him fighting.
Yeah, it was on TV, which I thought was kind of funny, but
then like the next time he appears, all you see he's just attacking a bridge, and that's it. And most of the time, and for the first part of that scene, you mainly just see his tail just slamming down and all that.
I mean, the only time you really see him completely, which is probably the best part of the entire movie, is the third act where he's fighting the both of them.
Yeah.
But 98 had Godzilla show up a lot more. It felt more like a Godzilla movie, which is nice.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about in terms of realism, shall we? How realistic, like the monsters were portrayed. Let's hold the whole Godzilla thing, the whole source material thing out of it. Let's just focus on like how realistic the monsters were.
Like how they looked, or just how their origins were in the movies?
Well, like sort of both. Like just realism in general, really.
Well, we'll start with 98, just because chronological order. Why not? I feel like the approach they were trying to go for is much more realistic.
Yeah.
Like doing nuclear testing on, I think it was a lizard. I forget what kind of lizard, but it was like nuclear testing and it infected lizard eggs, I think.
At the beginning, like you like see like like a load of bombs, and it's like radiating the iguanas and like
and lizard
I think like over a course of a few years they like evolved into this giant dinosaur monster thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, that could be plausible, though I don't understand why all of the lizards didn't turn into Godzilla.
Yeah.
But it seems kind of plausible. I mean, this is Godzilla, so, I mean, it could be weirder. It could be worse. I feel like the approach, I feel like they didn't have enough information. They just kind of gave you a little bit of backstory and threw Godzilla at you.
Yeah. I mean, but in the original, like it's just like a dinosaur that was like the last living dinosaur on an island, and like one day like there are like these radiation bombs being dropped on the island, and then it just mutates on the spot pretty much.
Now, while we're on that topic, we'll go into Godzilla 2014 and how that origin is different from that one. It's kind of similar, but Godzilla in this new movie, there's this ancient race of creatures that I guess we're calling kaiju, that were on the Earth millions and millions of years ago. Millions would be right. Back when the Earth was much more radiated, or more radiation, so they're enormous, and they've just survived since then under the ocean. Now, one thing I did have a little bit of trouble believing is how does Godzilla just go into hibernation for millions of years?
Well, yeah, I guess that is kind of plausible, though, because, I mean, like, if he's a giant lizard, he could be a bit like a tortoise, because they can live for, over 100 years, can't they? And, like,
and lizards can also, they do this thing called brumation. Here's the reptile nerd in me coming out. A bearded dragon has done it before. Well, they'll sleep all winter. And actually, it's a lot like hibernation for like bears or something.
Yeah.
They'll sleep all winter and occasionally all year. And they'll just sleep. No food, no water, no nothing.
Yeah.
So it might be that sort of complex, only times like a bunch, considering it's significantly larger.
Yeah, something that this reminds me of, just on a slightly different topic. This kind of reminds me, spoiler alert for whenever I continue Ultraman and Friends, like, my origin for Gamora, because, like, you know how, like, when you first see him, he's, like, sleeping under the ocean, then he wakes up and...
Yeah, he sees the dinosaurs and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, basically, he's, like, like, millions of years ago, like, an alien, like, a meteor that was radiated, crashed into Earth, during the dinosaur age. He used to be a triceratops, and like he's got the same origin as the Agira in my ones. And
that makes sense, actually. It looks a lot like a triceratops.
Yeah, and like they both get radiated. Like it's like him and his mate, and then like later like another creature gets radiated, and like kills his mate, and then like when like the asteroid hits, like he survived the asteroid hit, and then like he goes like, because you know how like once the asteroid hit, there was a period of like where it was absolutely freezing.
Yeah, because ash and whatnot.
Yeah, well, at that point, like, his body started to go dormant. He, like, fell into the sea and then just went dormant for millions of years.
Oh, great. He pulled a Captain America.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of similar to my idea for Gamora, pretty much.
Yeah. And I guess it makes sense, considering they're enormous.
Yeah.
So, what does slightly confuse me, in the beginning of the movie where again, massive spoilers if you haven't caught on already, when the Muto, escapes from its little, pod thing, and scoots to the, nuclear plant, what made it decide to do that? Was there some trigger? Was it, like, they didn't really go into why, like,
Yeah, maybe it was like, well, I think that, like, basically they were like babies in a cocoon or something, just staying in there until...
and then they just, like, hatched, I guess?
Yeah, I guess so.
But, the Mutos, I think, were pretty cool, realism-wise. Their story was... They didn't really dwell on the origin, which I kind of like. It's got this whole mystery factor to it, which is kind of cool. They looked a lot like... The male, at least, looked a lot like Rodan to me.
Yeah, and both of them looked a lot like the Cloverfield monster as well.
Yeah, definitely. And it looked almost like kind of an alien head with the film thing.
Yeah, you know, like the mouth, like from what I noticed, the mouth kind of reminded me of Predator in a way.
Yeah, it did actually. But to me, it all seemed like a big combination of Gigan, I think it's Gigan.
Yeah.
Rodan and Cloverfield.
Yeah.
All smushed together.
Yeah.
But their realism is pretty cool. The whole idea that the female was bigger, which occurs a lot in reptiles and a lot of animals in general, it made a lot of sense to me.
By the way, what you said about the whole hunt, like whole ages thing, I heard, you know, Sue the Tyrannosaurus?
Yeah.
Well, like, I heard that she might have lived for over 100 or something, so...
Yeah, large reptiles, like, the larger they get, the longer they live, typically.
Yeah,
so I guess the fact that Godzilla is, like, 300 feet tall and umpty million pounds probably makes sense that he's really old.
Yeah, it would take longer for them to grow up, pretty much.
Yeah. Now, one thing... Oh, jeez, Oh, wait, here it is. One thing, realism-wise, that I'm not an enormous fan of, and we'll try to get this done quick because I want to move on to the human character aspect, though we don't really have to rush, is the fact that they kept saying Godzilla's hunting them, he's hunting them, but then once he started fighting, it didn't seem like he was hunting, it seemed like he was protecting people, like once he killed the Mutos, he just kind of moved on to the next one, which I thought was a bit odd.
Just one quick thing I wanted to say about the 98 film. One thing that I sort of found as realistic animal behaviour was, like, once, like, the military started shooting at him, he like, turned flee and ran away. Because, like, just to show that that this one isn't exactly a monster, but more like an animal, pretty much.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Now, while we're on 98, I just remembered this. I was thinking of things last night, I wanted to bring up. And, one thing that definitely occurred to me was, do you remember in 98 when they shot a torpedo at it through the submarine and it didn't work? Yeah. But then the second time they did it at the end of the movie, it did work?
Yeah.
That didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. The best theory I can come up with is that, like, at the end of the film, like, they, like, shot him in a weak spot at that point, because, like, in the torpedo, like, they, like, just shot him in the back, and, like, I'm thinking he just passed out at that point. or from shock or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, that could have probably have been done better.
Yeah, but then the one thing that really bugs me is, then how the hell did he suddenly get under the building where the babies were?
Yeah, okay, they blew it up. It's gone. Bye-bye. How is it? Did he just dig?
I don't even
Dig
know.
it up or something?
Speaking of which, I don't even know how he fits in the sewers as well.
Yeah, that's odd. I think its size is variable depending on where they need him.
Yeah.
Continuity.
Then again, I think we did see him digging. Maybe it wasn't exactly the sewers he was in, but...
Yeah, but, yeah, I mean...
But anyway, you wanted to go on to another point, didn't you?
Yeah, the human characters, because, neither of these films are super great human character-wise. Some of them are alright, some of them are less alright.
But, see, the thing is, I think that in my opinion, the 2014 movie, I think that just wins over instantly, almost.
Yeah, human character-wise, I would have to agree.
Yeah.
We'll go to 98 just because, chronological order, I don't know. So, the worm guy, the main character who is a scientist that studies worms. Whose idea was that? Who said, alright, you need a main protagonist, what should you do? I know, let's make him a worm scientist.
I mean, in terms of a Godzilla movie, it would make more sense for him to be a radiation or a lizard scientist.
Physicist or something.
Yeah, like a biologist that mainly studies lizards, pretty much.
Yeah, or a nuclear physicist, or I don't know, something. But a worm doctor, worm scientist.
Yeah. You see, the thing is, I end up feeling more sorry for the characters in the 2014 movie, because, at the beginning, the mother, the dad is forced to close the gates while his wife is stuck on the other side. That I was holding back tears at that point.
Bryan Cranston's a great actor. He's fantastic. I'm surprised they killed him off so early, because he's not cheap. He's such a good actor. He's not easy to get a hold of.
One nitpick I just wanted to say. The main character, the son, what was his name? I can't remember his name.
I don't remember either.
I noticed at one point he accidentally slipped out of his American accent and went to his natural British accent.
Oh, that guy was British?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you noticed. At one point he just slipped out of his American accent and went British for a second.
I didn't even notice. I didn't know that actor was British, so I guess I wasn't looking for it.
I was quite observant. But
with 98, I want to also point out French, secret agent. Alright, first of all, why France?
Yeah.
Why would France give a damn?
Well, oddly enough, just let me say this, on that character, I honestly thought he was the coolest character in the film, but...
Yeah, he was, and that's not really saying much, but... But, okay, A, why France? B, why did he get so much access to, US government stuff? Nobody knew who he was. And why did he seem to know so much about all the Godzilla stuff and whatnot? None of this makes sense.
Yeah, and I haven't actually seen the film in quite a while, but, hey.
It would have made more sense if it was a Japanese agent or something.
Yeah, maybe. I just wanted to say something else. The dialogue in the 2014 movie is a lot more realistic. In the original movie, there are just times where I just want a head desk, pretty much.
Oh, and 1998, they had a lot of slurs because it was alright in the 90s. This one has a lot less because, yeah. We've been going for 22 minutes and it hasn't cut out yet. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, actually, I think I made a mistake there, actually. But anyway, more on the 98 film. The whole what was it? The dialogue that at one point there was something I didn't quite understand. I mean, I'm gonna come up with like what I think they said, but I haven't seen the film in a long time. Like the one guy said that a city is a perfect place for the monster to hide.
What?
I know.
I disagree.
All right.
Jack.
I understand. Maybe like they evacuated the city or something, but still, a city.
I object. I would think an ocean would be the best place for a monster to hide.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have a laughing fit now. But yeah. I mean, like, yeah. There's a giant monster just crushing people all over. Well, I don't see him around anywhere.
Okay, let me just go into this. Like, if I had $1 for every time they lost Godzilla in that movie, they kept like misplacing him. I'm like, how do you misplace a giant monster?
I mean, like, the part where the helicopter scene, okay, that made sense because there was no one around at that point, but
then, like, okay, there was one where it was, he was in the sewers and they were tracking him just fine, and then all of a sudden, poof, he's gone.
yeah.
What? God,
Yeah, one thing I wanted to bring out is that I felt like the romance in the original movie was just forced.
It was forced and not good. Though I will admit I was not a huge fan of Emma or the wife in 2014. I felt like she was the weak link cast-wise.
Well, I didn't really base on it, but we didn't actually see any development between.
Yeah, between them. Not really. Except for that one time they almost had sex, but that doesn't count.
Yeah. It came close, but.
Yeah. Stupid phone call.
Yeah. Although, I will admit, the ending was quite emotional, I will admit. When they, like, reunited and all that, that was quite emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though that, I felt like that was a lot better in the new movie, because, yeah, even though it was like, hey, mother just died, 15 years later, hey, I'm married, I have a kid of my own, and...
Yeah, they never really actually went into how old this guy is.
Yeah.
Because he would have been married for 5 years, because his kid's 5 years old. So, okay.
I guess I'm speculating he was 10 years old at the time. Now he's 25, let's say.
I was aiming a little higher. I thought maybe he was 13, and then he would be 28, so he had a kid when he was 23.
I don't know, it's...
Yeah, they didn't really... A+ for lack of explanation.
Well, hey, to be fair, that's quite a bit of a nitpick there, but...
Yeah, that is, actually, but...
Yeah, Oh, what else is there to talk about?
Alright, can we go into the baby scene? Because...
Yeah.
Everybody's been thinking about it, I know.
I will admit that scene, I thought was, like, one of, like, pretty much the scariest out of all the scenes, really, because...
Yeah, I mean, it was genuinely creepy. It combined the raptors from Jurassic Park, the creepy big eggs from Alien, and, there was another one.
Just to let you know, I know probably a lot of people are going to disagree with us on this part, but remember, this is all just our opinions, pretty much.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with us.
I mean, granted, 98 is not a great movie, but I feel like that's the only scene that's, like, really worth anything. I mean, there are some that are like,
Most intimidating. Although I will admit, when I first watched the film and the guy takes a picture of the monster and then he just goes right up to him, I was like pretty much shivering.
It's like, no, you about to get eaten.
Yeah, I was a bit intimidated at that point, but then he walked away.
Yeah, but
now the ending of 98, like the end of the monster when he died, I will admit that was kind of sad, because you kind of feel sorry for him, because he was just an animal trying to survive, pretty much.
I felt like, though, that last scene where they killed Godzilla was completely unnecessary. Like, oh, you think the movie's over after we killed all the babies? Nope, movie's not over. I feel like they just kind of threw that ending at you because they wanted more screen time.
Yeah.
I feel like the ending they put in the movie should have been like an alternate ending, like in deleted scenes or something.
Maybe so. Or maybe they should have cut out the whole torpedo part thing, because...
yeah, maybe they just had Godzilla swim away.
And also, the whole Godzilla getting angry at killing his babies, yes, that would make sense, because I'm pretty sure that even if you're an animal, if you find out your kids have been killed, I'm pretty sure you're going to be quite ticked off at that point.
Reptiles usually aren't super protective of babies, but I mean, I guess, like...
Yeah, he was evolved, pretty much. He was evolved.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I guess it makes sense, but...
I mean, I know that he wasn't technically a dinosaur, but dinosaurs, I think...
Yeah, they did care for their young. Well, assumably.
But you see, the thing is, the realism about the 98 film, at the ending was, like, the part that made the least sense to me, because, like, they were running away while Godzilla's legs is, like, he pretty much just take a stride and then they'd be squashed, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember what else there was. You got anything else to talk about?
I kind of want to go back to 2014 for a minute, because I feel like we haven't really given 2014 much attention.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about briefly the very beginning of the movie, where they're talking about how they're trying to get rid of Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was amazing, how, like, they explained that he was just a kaiju that's been around for millions of years, and they were using the nuclear tests off the Pacific in 1954, which is a historical thing, to try to kill him. Which I thought was really interesting. So it's implied that the Mutos are not alive yet. That he's the only kaiju on Earth. And also, this is actually kind of a question I was asking you about. I think I already asked you this.
Yeah?
I might have asked I know I asked Brandon this. But, however, when in the opening scene, 1998, when they're walking in the skeleton, and it's like, you have the two Muto eggs.
Yeah.
Was that a skeleton of another, like, Godzilla? Some people were saying that, and some people were saying it's just another kaiju.
I think it was, because, I mean, when all's said and done, I don't think that the Mutos would have that sort of skeleton structure thing. Yeah, it looked more like a giant dinosaur.
If anything, it didn't look... If anything, if it wasn't another, like, Godzilla creature, it was another kaiju, because... It said it fed off radiation, and kaiju were just giant nuclear monsters, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's like a parasite. There are these wasps that lay their eggs in tarantulas.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Well, actually, I've also heard of, like, I think it's like some form of fly that, like, lays its eggs inside of a giant inside of an ant's head, and then they hatch inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and, what else is there to talk about? Let's think, I don't know, is there anything else to talk about?
Well, I think we should just do, like, a final verdict on both of the movies, just give a general rating and compare the two of them.
Oh, okay, even though I'm part of the minority that, actually like the 1988 film, but the only reason I'm able to do that right now is because I don't call it a Godzilla movie anymore. I will say that I did think that the new movie was a lot better. Yeah,
I would have to agree. I mean, I think the reason most people take it so are so offended by the 1998 movie is because it's got the word Godzilla put on the poster. I think if they
renamed it to Gino or Gigantus or
something that wasn't Godzilla, it would be, like, not a sin.
Yeah. It would.
But I will admit, even cinematography-wise, just in all aspects, I feel like this new movie is better.
Yeah, I agree.
So go get you one. Go watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing? Get off your fat ass and go watch it.
Seriously, if you haven't seen it yet, why are you still here? We've just spoiled the entire movie.
Yeah, well done. We just ruined it for you. Congratulations.
Hooray! But yeah, I guess that was our comparative review debate thing.
Yeah.
Now Godzilla versus other Godzilla.
Godzilla versus Zilla. Yeah.
Yeah. 2.0.
Right then.
But yeah, overall, I would probably recommend seeing 2014. If you could only see one in your entire life, that would be weird. But I would see the new one.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen the 1998 film, I recommend that if you want to enjoy it, don't rename it. Rename it to Gigantus or something.
Big monster guy.
Giant lizard which looks like Godzilla, but it isn't Godzilla due to international copyright laws.
Discount Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've rambled on for about long enough, and I think we'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed us talking together, then leave a comment, and maybe we'll do more of these sort of things in the future.
Yeah. Make a suggestion as to what we should do next, because we've got plenty of time to kill. We're bored and have no lives.
Yeah, we could do. But anyway, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Adios.